Hello, my name is Ryan Murphy, and this is Book Critique number 2. I have 5 awesome children's books that I'd like to share with you today, including a feature text that will explore ways they can be utilized in the classroom. Let's begin with our feature text for the day, Dear Mr. Henshaw, written by Beverly Cleary, with illustrations by Paul O. Zielinski. The story centers around Leigh Botts, a young boy who every year writes letters to his favorite author, Mr. Henshaw. In 6th grade, when writing a letter to him for a school assignment, Leigh unexpectedly gets a response from the author, who playfully gives curt responses and includes his own questions for Leigh to answer. Unwilling at first, Leigh responds to each question, revealing many of his thoughts and life problems, including his parents' divorce, his moving to a new school, and more. Finally, Mr. Henshaw suggests that Leigh use a diary to keep his thoughts and feelings in. Through his writing, to pretend Mr. Henshaw, Leigh is able to reflect on his life and learn to accept the things that cannot be changed, and strive to change the things he can, always moving forward, and eventually writing not to an author, but to himself. I chose this book because of its portrayal of a real child growing up with real-life problems, and how it is never afraid to show the hardships and the tough times of life. It's also a very uniquely written book, as the story is told through the letters and diary entries of Leigh, showing how much reading and writing mean to him, and how it helps him to better understand his thoughts and feelings. The best way to describe this book is a slice-of-life type of story, one that simply goes through a character's problems at certain points of his life, and how he is then able to overcome them. It's the kind of book that can be very inspiring for a child. My first lesson idea is centered around social studies. The main idea is to give students their own Mr. Henshaws to write to throughout the school year. Instead of writing to their favorite authors, like Leigh did, they would instead write to other students. By connecting with schools from other countries, they would be able to write about their lives, what they learn about in school, and especially what their cultures are like, and then learn the same from their pen pals. My second lesson idea is centered around ELA. Using the book, students would create literature circles to better process and understand the text. Each student in the circle would have a different role in the group, such as a summarizer who would sum up what was recently read, an illustrator who would draw a picture of a favorite moment from what they recently read, a questioner who would ask a main question for the group to discuss, and more. The possibilities for different roles are many and varied. Here's an example of a role I created that could be used in a literature circle, the character analyzer. To illustrate, I used Coggle to create a character analysis for the main character of the story, Leigh Botts. Through my analysis, I found examples of things that he liked, things he disliked, characters that are associated with him, and other important details. Let's move on to the other books featured in this book critique. Charlotte's Web tells the story of a pig named Wilbur, whose life is saved by a girl named Fern, who is able to convince her father to keep and raise the piglet despite him being the runt of the litter. After some time, Wilbur grows big and is eventually sold to Fern's uncle. Unfortunately, Wilbur discovers that he is being raised to eventually be slaughtered. However, with the help of a spider named Charlotte, a rat named Templeton, and a little bit of hope, Wilbur is determined to show the farmer and the others that he is not just some pig. In Mr. Popper's Penguins, Mr. Popper is just an average man living an average life with his wife and kids, but is in for some unexpected changes when an admiral exploring the Arctic surprises him with a penguin of his own. The more he raises the penguin, the more problems that arise. First, the penguin grows lonely, to which a female penguin is brought in. Next, the female lays 10 eggs, unlike the average penguin, resulting in 12 penguins in the Popper household. With his many penguins and his growing debt, Mr. Popper decides to train them and have them perform, embarking on many misadventures. My Father's Dragon tells the tale of a young boy named Elmer Elevator, who embarks on a mission to rescue a baby dragon from Wild Island. In doing so, he comes across an assortment of exotic animals who try to get in his way. Will Elmer be able to outsmart the beasts using only his wit and his knapsack? Finally, Blueberries for Sal is about a mischievous little girl named Sal, who goes with her mother to pick blueberries on Blueberry Hill. As they are picking berries, a mother bear and her cub also come up for some blueberries. The book comedically compares and contrasts the two families, with Sal being told not to eat any berries, while the cub is encouraged to eat as many as possible. When Sal and the cub end up following the wrong mother, will they be able to find their way back to their real mothers? And with that, those are the 5 books featured in my second book critique. Thanks for watching!